It's a bear. Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in stormy Lauderdale by the Sea, yet still beautiful. Windy out there, a little bit wavy. I think we got a hurricane on the other side of the coast going by us. Thankfully, we missed this one, folks. Another one that we can chalk off our list to not have to worry about. If you live in South Florida and you're a customer of mine, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, let's kind of move on to precious metal prices and things here real quick, and let me shorten that screen up, go over here. But before I do that, I'd like to apologize for getting today's show on late, and also give you a heads up that this week's shows, I'm going to do them every day like clockwork. I missed yesterday, not because I missed it, because it was a holiday, and I have vowed to do these shows on a daily basis and not miss a single one. I haven't done that yet, and yesterday again was a holiday. Gold markets were closed in the United States, so I did take the liberty of closing the store and taking the day off myself and having a nice 3-day weekend. Went fishing, caught absolutely nothing but a sunburn, so I still enjoyed myself. Markets are pretty crazy today too as well. So, let me finish up with what I was going to talk about this week. I'm going up to one of the major, largest conventions in the country for rare coins. Also happens to be a tremendous amount of precious metals, and your LCSs are going to be there, local coin stores that set up. I'll be at that show myself for under commercial rare coins and precious metals. I'm going to go up there and buy and sell some things and talk with some other dealers. Meanwhile, I won't be here to do my show, but I'm going to do it on my cell phone live up there, and I'm going to send it down to Marcelo down here and have him edit it and try to get it out on a timely basis for you on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So if I get the videos out a little bit late, do forgive me, but I'm going to hopefully give you some really good content and something different than I haven't done before. And let's look at prices today, $17.91 to $18.15. That's what I woke up to, $18.15 this morning. Wow. It was quite an up day, and kind of unexpected a little bit too. I knew we were going to see up days, but I didn't expect this much over the course of the day or the evening. Again, I should say last night, or yesterday in general, because it was international markets. The world markets were in control, not New York yesterday, and the world markets took it up to about 1815 level, silver at 2678 level, and platinum at 1120. Per ounce, so broke over that $1,100 mark. Down a little bit from its highs, though. Gold at $17.93 right now, still higher than its earlier low from yesterday, but no less an up day, good up day for gold. The coin is absolutely wrong today, bear. Well, we'll see. The day's not over yet. So, and silver bouncing over that $26 mark pretty handily. Look at $26.78 a high, but look at that stomp down. 70 cents in New York too. What is going on? Well, it's monkey hammering. It's the manipulators. They're at play again. And we're going to do a quick assessment of an article done by Ted Butler here today. So I'll take a look at that in just a moment as well. And I might explain what we got going on out here. Again, palladium. I'm sorry, palladium. I keep calling it platinum. No, palladium. Platinum at 1,084. High 1120, and again bounced pretty hard. Both of the white metals here down pretty hard, including palladium actually, and we don't talk about palladium much because very few customers for it. And gold doing okay here at 1793.61, still again above its high. But both these metals kind of got slammed today in New York, not in the world markets. That's kind of odd. Well, maybe it's not odd. So coin said bear today, and we've obviously got a bull market except for silver and platinum. Maybe the coin I've got to define. Do I got to spin it 3 times? I never even thought about this. One for gold, one for silver, one for platinum. Or should I just call the coin like the overall flip and spinny thing, and overall markets are going to be up or down? I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. I guess I've got to define what the coin spin is really about. Well, let's move out of here. Nice to see an up day, unless you were planning on buying the dips. And, as far as buying the dips, silver and platinum is still a good dip buy right now. And, listen, even if the metals were to continue to go up here, we got a lot more room before I'd tell you to stop buying, that's for sure. And that's just my opinion. GATA.org got some pretty good articles here. And Russian Finance Ministry plans to buy $4 billion worth of gold. They're telegraphing this, announcing this out front. But that's what world central banks do. They kind of telegraph it unlike the Chinese banks, central bank, which has been secretively putting away gold and building up their gold supply for quite some time, but everyone's known that what China reports in gold is not the reality of the situation. It's probably twice or three times as much. And again, Russian finance ministry plans to buy $4 billion worth of gold. Who was it? Honduras or Ecuador or some other countries, and it was all kinds of countries. Let's see here. Look down and see if I can even see from last week's article. The silver, read more, daily dispatches. Thailand or someone was buying gold as well. The Central Bank of Thailand announced they were buying more gold. What's up with this, folks? What's up with all these central banks increasing their gold supplies dramatically? Even the smaller third world countries are doing it right now. There's got to be something writing on the wall going on. And obviously, now that the central or Basel has made gold. Listen, if Basel has done one thing that everyone has overlooked and missed, it's been taking gold and taking it from a tier 3 asset to a tier 1 asset. Gold used to be, prior to this, a tier 3 asset, which meant that it was considered a risky asset to some degree. And if you wanted to borrow against it or use it in swaps, it was considered a tier 3 asset by the big bankers, by the big world bankers. World bankers have recently made gold a tier 1 asset. How people overlook this important piece of information, I don't know. I mean, I think there's something to be said with it being repriced as from a tier 3 to a tier 1. There's big news in that, and I don't really think we've heard too much about it. All we've heard about is how it's going to end the derivative paper end of it. And I think there's a few writers out there who said that's bullshit. It really is not going to. They'll just reallocate those extra Fed funds they have to make up the difference for using unallocated gold accounts as opposed to a tier 1 asset. So now their paper unallocated accounts will be considered tier 3 assets, and they'll have to put up, I think they're still going to be a tier 3 asset, whereas real gold a tier 1 asset now. But these banks have so much bank reserves and cash that they're loaning it back to the central banks, repo swaps and that kind of thing. So I think, as another author has pointed out, that they'll have enough money to cover the percentage they have to still run those unallocated accounts. Again, a lot more news coming up on this. Whether even the Basel III has gone into effect, definitely. I haven't even read that with any certainty. So a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of crazy stuff, but it all centers around gold. Countries buying gold, central banks buying gold. Why do central banks buy gold when they tell you you should be holding on to dollars or trying to push people into dollars or push them into stock markets, risky investments that are dollar denominated? Well, that's the reason, because they're dollar denominated. Oh, sorry, busy day today, folks. And again, we're preparing to get ready for a show, so phone's ringing. My staff is overwhelmed. Tough day. Hey, I hope you liked. Well, I'll get into that in a moment here. So you're looking at all these central banks buying gold now. So that says a lot. I mean, if the people that run the world are buying gold, what should you be buying, folks? Think about it. And silver as well, and platinum. Even gold-obsessed Indians are pouring into crypto. I think we talked about that on Friday's video. Here's an article that I want to talk about. Ted Butler, Cheaters Run the Silver Market. And I'm going to do that right now. Here it is. I like Ted Butler. Ted Butler was the first person that alerted me that that there was monkey, or first smart person out there that wasn't wearing a tinfoil hat, that had an education, was a trader himself, knows that market really, really well. Ted Butler is a guy for years and years and years back when everyone said he was wearing a tinfoil hat, was saying over and over, no, these markets are monkey hammered. They're being manipulated from day one by a couple big banks. Now, this article is not new. It's been out July 2nd, a couple days old here, 2021, but no less. I recommend anytime Ted Butler. Ted Butler is the godfather of the manipulation of silver markets. When I say the godfather of this market, the godfather of alerting people of the truth and how it's done. No one can take more credit than Ted Butler, in my opinion, from Butler Research. And actually, he lives in Florida. I'd like to meet the guy one day. Strong influence on me early on, understanding how the markets are influenced and how silver is manipulated. But I'm going to read this article real quick for some of you that may have not seen it before. And it's pretty cool. Ted says, silver is manipulated and suppressed in price and has been for decades because large traders on one side of the COMEX, traders labeled as commercials on the short side, are cheaters. Ted just comes right out and says it now. And I don't blame them. After all these years, you kind of get sick of saying the same thing over and over, and you got to call these people, call a spade, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheaters. And cheating is a deliberate attempt to evade the rules of the game to achieve an unfair advantage. Where do I get off calling the commercial traders and COMEX silver cheaters? And think about today's down day in New York, folks. That's the cheaters at work. So here's a good example of it, and Ted explains it right here. I am including the referees, the regulators at the CFTC, the CME group, and the Justice Department as complicit for allowing the cheating to continue. And I've said that for a long time, too. You got a couple problems going on here. First, the referees, the regulators at the CFTC, typically have worked for these companies that are cheaters. So if you figure that out, folks, I mean, a lot of these regulators had at one time worked or want a job working for these companies. And it's funny, a lot of these regulators actually end up working, as I said, working. So there's something going on there as well. And the CME group, which is, to my opinion, is just crooked in general. They've always had these naked silver contracts, these naked contracts that they've never had covered, which really, what are you buying? Nothing. And the Justice Department. Now, the Justice Department, what I blame on them is just pure ineptness, because they don't know what they're looking at. They don't know what the manipulation looks at. I don't think their attorneys get paid enough, and none of them look like they're attorneys and stuff. They're not looking for a job at JP or Goldman Sachs or anything like that, or they didn't start at Goldman Sachs and become Justice Department people. So I think that's just ineptness. The Justice Department not understanding those markets in any way, shape, or form. And again, the regulators, the ones that should be explaining it to them, are in bed with these cheaters. That's my opinion. Of course, and I think that's Ted's opinions as well. And as complicit for allowing the cheating to continue, simply stated, the COMEX is a crooked game run by cheaters and officiated by those condoning the cheating. The proof of the cheating resides in the public data. And, data doesn't lie. Well, liars use data, so I can't say that's not true. But, math doesn't lie. And that's my opinion. Specifically, the data contained in the weekly commitments of traders, the COT report. On every significant price decline in COMEX, silver, and gold for the past 4 decades, the commercial traders, particularly the 4 largest shorts, have been big buyers. This was true on the most recent decline and every price decline for decades. It has been incredibly lucrative for them, amounting to billions in gains without any losses until recently. So, the question becomes, how can one small group of traders always end up as big buyers on every significant price decline? The only answer is the big commercial buyers were cheating. There's no other way for this to be accomplished, even once and not for the scores or hundreds of times this has occurred over the decades. It is impossible for the commercials to have achieved the incredible market feat of always buying big on significant price declines without cheating. So, basically Ted here is outlined, and I'm sure he can show you the data and the graphs and all that stuff, and it's out there. GATA.org is talking about the same thing that Ted talks about. That's why I always tell you to read GATA.org and have it in your bookmark bar. If you don't, you really don't know how the game is played. And let me continue what he talks about here, Ted talks about. For further proof, look no further than the spate of recent convictions, settlements, and fines, and now jail time for spoofing on the COMEX. Something close to 99% of these cases have involved banks, COMEX commercials, and their employee traders. Think that's a coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence, and we've talked about this on our videos many, many times over, especially recently. It was interesting to see that the employees, the traders, themselves went to prison for a year or two. Meanwhile, the CEOs and the people that run these companies get off scot-free and make bonuses for these kind of things. There's shit going on here, folks. That's not a coincidence, and that's exactly what Fred says here. Think it's a coincidence? Of course we know it's bullshit. And what is the spoofing? The entry and immediate cancellation. And I've seen this happen for years, decades. Spoofing. This is how they get it. When you wake up in the morning, you say, what the F happened to silver and gold prices? I can tell you what happened to them, spoofing. And this is something I learned from Ted many, many years ago. And I know it's a fact because I see it happen. I see it happen. I follow these markets daily. Nobody trades huge amounts of metal in thinly traded markets in the middle of the night when no one else would, and then everything starts getting knocked down at that point. You know it's monkey hammered. You know it's manipulated, and you pretty much, if you follow Ted Butler and GATA.org, you know who's doing it. And what is spoofing? The entry and immediate cancellation of orders designed to manipulate prices in the short term, other than a trading device designed to cheat. And while the regulators attempt to bask in the glow of having cracked down on the nasty spoofers, the sad truth is the practice still exists, minus the immediate cancellation feature. The cheating is more pronounced in silver due to the fact that the commercials hold the largest concentration short position of COMEX silver futures, more than any other commodity. Now, I mean, isn't that crazy? More than grain, more than oil, more than all the commodities. The commercials hold the largest concentrated short positions in COMEX, period, in silver. That's because they manipulate the shit out of that market. However, I'm going to take a quick break here and remind you, for people that are new listening to my videos, do not worry about this. I keep saying manipulation, and Ted talks about this. I call him Fred, sorry. And a lot of websites talk about the manipulation. However, I'm going to be the first here to tell you that they can only do it so long. And also, look at this particular type of manipulation. What are they doing? They're accumulating physical silver. Why would these huge commercial traders buy physical commodity silver in such large quantities? And we'll get to that in a moment. The reason is because they're waiting for it to explode to the upside to some degree, and they're going to benefit from that greatly. I can't even tell you how much. And let me move along because I'm digressing from Ted's article here. I've presented all the allegations to the CFTC through elected officials, giving the Commission every opportunity to refute my allegations, which it had done repeatedly in the past. And this time it responded that it referred to the matter to its divisions of market oversight and enforcement, another inept board of people, or inept and or corrupt. A really big change. Whether anything more comes of this, we will only know in time, but the game of cheating by the COMEX commercial is getting long of tooth. And Ted points this out, and he's the guy, he would know it better than anyone. And he's even admitting to this, and this is good news, folks. It's getting long in tooth. They can only do it for so long. We've said this on our videos many times over and over. It's not just that the cheating has gone on for so long. The cheating has manipulated and suppressed the price of a vital and strategic commodity, which is now on the verge of a physical shortage that may take many years to resolve. And we do have a big physical shortage. We talk about that all the time as well. Not to mention, for 1 year, we had closures of mines, closures of mints, closures of secondary scrappers. So it is bigger than people really understand. Not to mention, silver is a strategic metal. It really is. I would consider it one. It's used in electronics all over the world globally. We have to use it. We're kind of stuck using it. And a lot of it is never recovered as well. So I think there's a huge issue with real silver availability out there. And this is why you need to physically own it, not to have a piece of paper or an online account that says you do. I don't care how well-intentioned they are. You don't just artificially suppress the price of a critical world commodity for decades by means of dirty tricks with no consequences. The era of cheating trading tricks is rapidly coming to an end. An era not dominated by cheating trading tricks on the COMEX is about to begin. Bravo, this is what we've talked about. This is a good thing for gold and silver stackers to know this. It's interesting that the biggest silver cheater, market cheater, JP Morgan, has insulated and removed itself from the former role as chief cheater by virtue of having accumulated massive amounts of physical silver and gold for the decade in which it cheated the market more than any other entity. You know, when people think about the silver market being manipulated, that's the first company like JP is always the first. They're the most aggressive. What they saw big short positions out there being manipulated by a few commercial traders, and JP comes in and they're the big dog and they just snap everyone else and do the same thing they're doing. Will they go to jail? Probably not. Too big to fail, too big to jail. So that's my opinion. But no less, they've done it and they've already got their silver. And what do you think JPM and we? I can't tell you how many times we talk about this as well. And Ted Butler points out so perfectly. Do you think JPM acquired 1.2 billion ounces of physical silver and 30 million ounces of gold in a manner that didn't involve every cheating trading trick known to man? JP Morgan's got the biggest spoofing fine because it was the biggest market cheat. Remember, they got fined, what was it, almost $1 billion, some huge amount, but they probably made $40 billion. They don't care. Too big to jail. Too big to fail, too big to jail. The ongoing cheating will end on the next rally. The 4 biggest COMEX silver shorts don't add to short positions aggressively. If they don't add aggressively. It should be easy to see that the comics commercial is always buying on significant price declines involves cheating. But the real key is whether the comics commercial cheats sell short on the rallies. There is no legitimate reason for silver to have the largest concentrated short position of all commodities, and there is no reason other than manipulation and cheating. The big COMEX silver shorts must cheat to buy back as much of that short position as possible on the price decline that they rig. These commercial banks will always cheat. It's what they do, but their need to cheat in COMEX silver will largely end when they no longer hold massive short positions and they've filled these positions. I'm thinking that these silver banks have filled the position, or they got to be close to it. That's why silver's been held down as long as it has, and I think gold as well. Just my opinion. Ted doesn't say that here. As bad as the cheating has been, there's also very positive side to it. I receive, and this is what I keep telling you folks. Look at the positive side of this. It's like Vegas. If you know how the casino wins the game, if you know how they have the edge, and you know how they're cheating, if they are cheating, if you know how they're cheating, you know how the game is played, you can win. And that's what Ted points out here, and as we pointed out all the time, almost in every video we do. Of course the game is rigged, but if you don't play, you can't win, and if you know how it's rigged, chances are you can win. I received an email from a longtime subscriber saying that I had lost my bit of enthusiasm for the prospects of a silver price surge. And this is Ted Butler. This is like the guy that I respect a lot when it comes to this market. And I respect Ted Butler's word when it comes to this, telling us how the game is rigged. He is a master of them all. And this is Ted Butler saying this. I hope that's not a widely held opinion because nothing could be further from the truth. Perhaps it has to do with how long I have been studying silver and what I believe is a natural tendency of tempering one's word as one ages. That's exactly what I thought. I was in my late 30s when I first seriously locked into silver some 35 years ago. And yes, folks, I've been listening to Ted Butler at least half of that time. I've been 10, 15 years or more actually, 20 years or more I've been listening to Ted Butler. He's the guy that made me understand this market better. Truth be told, I consider silver to be much more of a sure thing today than ever before. Imagining sharply higher prices is as easy as falling off a log, and I'm hard-pressed to imagine significantly lower prices under almost any future condition. If I have conveyed anything but that along the way, then to use the words from the movie Cool Hand Luke, I have been guilty of, and I'll say this perfectly, what we have here is a failure to communicate. And that's what he says. I'm pretty sure I've conveyed my long-held premise that the price of silver and gold and other commodities is largely set by paper contract positioning on COMEX, and that this is borne out on weekly commitments of traders report. These position changes along, and that's the technical end of it. The recent wave of selling and lower prices and commercial cheating appears to be behind us. Now, folks, this is the guy that should know. He's been following this stuff for a long time, and I would have to concur with him. I believe that. Now it becomes a question of whether what transpires on the next rally, which to my mind appears close at hand. I'm referring to whether the big shorts add to short positions on higher silver prices, as always been occurred in the past. I continue to believe that the CFTC privately informed the big silver shorts to knock it off around May 3rd. And some fits and starts, the big shorts have largely complied. In fact, I believe the latest price blast lower was the big shorts' final attempt to clear the decks and reduce their concentrated short positions as much as they could. Therefore, I will be surprised if the big shorts add aggressively to short positions ahead. That's big, powerful words right there. If Ted Butler's right, we're pretty much seeing the done of these short positions here, and that's going to probably mean an explosive upside. And Ted says here, should the big shorts refrain from adding shorts and stop their outright cheating, as I expected, then we are talking about a whole new price world for silver. Freed from the shackles of price suppression by the big four COMEX shorts, the whole new price world should feature gains almost beyond belief. One of the greatest unintended consequences of a brave new financial world of previously unimaginable high prices for stocks, cryptocurrencies, and real estate is that it smooths the way for shockingly higher silver prices. So let there be no mistake in my current outlook for silver prices. I'm going to quote this, Ted Butler quote, pick an impossibly high price, then double or triple it. Wow, from his lips to the silver god's ears. So Ted Butler's article, and I do apologize for reading that whole thing. It took a long time to do it, but I like this guy a lot. See if you can do a Google search for Ted Butler, Butler Research under cheating. I think this is under silverseek.com. Pretty cool site. Lots of advertising, though. Hey, that's it for I'm going to go into what the best deals are. I'm not even going to show my gold page. Oh, boy, there's a whole bunch of best deals there, aren't there? Let's see. I like that best deal. Did I even save the best deal? No, I did not. There it is. Hang on. There's my best deal. I think I just deleted it. Okay. And the best deals out there right now, folks. I'm not even going to give you the products. I'm going to tell you what to pay. Try not to pay maximum $6.25 per ounce for silver premiums on any product that's recognizable. Try to stick in that $4 to $5 per ounce range if you can. I have a feeling premiums are not going to go down on silver. I think they're going to go up. We are seeing lowering premiums on gold, but not on silver as of yet. On some products, yes. But meanwhile, I would say anything that you can pay no more than $5 an ounce premium on, stick with that on silver. As far as gold, best deal out there is going to be try not to pay more than $85 per ounce on any premium, on any good gold products. $100 maximum. A lot of the coin products are over $100 per ounce premium, so I would try to avoid them. Again, try to stick in that $60 to $80 range for buying gold products. And as far as where you buy them, I'm a local brick and mortar dealer only, so I only sell local, folks. And if you don't live in my immediate area, I really can't sell you anything, but I do highly recommend you find a local coin and bullion store and deal with those guys if you can. Ask them if they can. I beat the big three. I beat APMEX, JM, SD, Bullion. I beat their prices for my local customers, so they don't have to order online. They can come in to see me. And I hope that your local coin stores can do the same. A lot of us can. We have lower overhead than the big guys, so they should be able to still make money and sell you a good product for a good deal. We do. And that's really about it. And I was going to talk about the video here. Hang on one second. YouTube. Let me do a YouTube here. And YouTube, there we go. Commercial, there's commercial. Happy 4th of July. That was Friday's video. And I got to tell you, we renamed Friday's video. It originally had something with the word virus in it, and I got my worst views ever. I really do. I think we put in the title the worst virus of all in our title on Friday. For our eBay report, and I thought it was actually not eBay, for our YouTube report, and I thought it was actually a pretty good title. But however, I got my worst views ever using that the V word in my title. So I do think there's something behind this censorship stuff. So let's talk about Friday's video that was up for 4 days. I got the worst views I've ever gotten. And probably I did change the title, by the way, and all of a sudden, once I changed that title to Happy 4th of July, people all of a sudden got views. Kind of weird how that works, isn't it? Awake, not woke. Thanks, Ashley. Nice to see you talking there. Nice to see you watching, I'm sorry, and talking. Chris, as a native of California, I can say without bias that California sucks. You can buy. I got to agree with you, California. As far as their governments and who it's run by is terrible. But Chris, I love California. A beautiful country, beautiful lands, beautiful oceans, mountains. Absolutely, one of my favorite. I almost considered retiring out to Ventura, Santa Barbara area many years ago before I figured out who runs the place. But I love it out there. It's just a shame that it's being run by a bunch of boneheads. So I agree with you. Finally found a way, a couple of 10 Corona. Good, you're buying the fractional gold. That's a real good deal. And if you know what Chris is talking about, I was giving some advice this earlier in the week, some good deals out there in fractional type gold. Freedom, absolutely, brother. Freedom, Randy, thanks for watching. Bad money wakes up good money, no doubt there, sir. Silversmith says tax threshold in California, 1,500. Anything over that? What are these crypt tales from the crypt? I bet they had that feeling last week. Thanks for watching, Silversmith. Joey from Seattle. Sorry I'm late for class. Had to follow my silver. Hey, listen, we're not that kind of channel. Well, I guess we can talk about funneling silver. Thanks for watching, Joey. Tree Climber says, love the fish camera, very peaceful. I agree 100%. I love that camera too. That's the live Deerfield cam. Hey, Mike, good to see you there. And dealing limited income enough to buy quarter ounce. Awesome. Well, hey, stack whatever you can, sir. And thanks for the coffee icons there. Blind Stacker and Audrey Mount, thanks for watching. Wayne, you too. Appreciate it. Potter Stacker, what to buy? When a new stacker asks, I don't buy what they like for the best possible price. I kind of like that. But I say buy the cheapest recognizable product that you can. Gold and silver is really nothing. You can bury it away. Who cares what it looks like as long as it's recognizable and the premiums aren't too high. Vinny Potts of Pan says, thanks, Brian. If you choose the correct coin to purchase for a numismatic value, hold it for a long haul. I like numismatics. In fact, Vinny, as I said, I'm going to be at the Fun Show this weekend. It'll be the first time ever I've been away at a show or anything for many, many years. I usually send my staff to do it. And I'm going to go up there and maybe do some interviews and do some live reports from up there. So the next couple of days, look out for my reports in Coin World. But it's going to be about bullion as well. Nice news about Ohio. Absolutely, Ashley. They dropped the sales tax. Thanks, Nathan. Nice to see you. Michael as well. Wayne's been getting proof silver dollars with box inserts. Yeah, thanks, Wayne. Great advice, or good advice you're taking there. Last week I talked about that great deal you can get in proof and commemoratives made by the U.S. Mint. Pay no more than melt plus $4. Way better than silver dollars, and way even more better than eagles. Half the premium. Own nothing and be happy says waiting for the fish leading to Pirate's treasure. Absolutely. Battleborn says little drink game for anyone brave enough. Drink your beverage of choice every time I say All right, this is just for you, Battleborn. You got your cup ready? And you got to do that in a row. Thanks for watching, Battleborn. I appreciate it. Tom 2 says, can you talk about difference selling generics back to dealers versus sovereign silver? Generic silver back to a dealer versus sovereign. It's all pretty much the same. I've heard generic has to be held for a month. No, that's pawn shops. Only pawn shops have to hold stuff for a month in Florida, Tom. You got that just a little backwards. Your local coin store, bullion dealer does not. Tree Climber says banks are deciding who money is real and who isn't. Well, what is money? The bankers, they're buying gold. They're not buying their own fiat. They're not buying their own crypto, folks. Well, I think that's really about it. I think I can move into our closing here. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Sorry for the lateness on today's show. I'll probably be late the next couple days, but no less. I'm going to do some live recording up at Orlando at the Fun Show. Talk about bullion and some other cool stuff. Well, hey, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. If you need anything, we will be open this week in the store for my local customers. We're here between 10 and 4, Mondays through Fridays, 954-493-8811. My staff is able to take care of you just as well as I am. They know all the things I do, so don't hesitate to come in even if I'm not here. And for anybody in Orlando, I will be up in Orlando at the Orlando show. Check me out there. Hey, thanks for watching. You all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.